final, the consolation final, of course. The winner will go through to play Fnatic, and it was a big shock yesterday to see Fnatic really dominate mTw.
Yes, it really was. Fnatic came out and played a brilliant game. It was really good to watch, and I think that in itself, considering how immaculate mTw have been, sent shockwaves out across the world, and now mTw got to pick themselves up, and they got to face MYM again.
What do you think about this game? Because obviously we've seen this matchup, I think, 3 times now throughout the European finals and these global finals. We seem to be seeing MYM versus mTw a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it's not going well for MYM in these matches. I mean, we're at a situation where in this week alone they've played, what, 3 times? And MYM have lost them all. We saw them lose on train. We saw them twice. We saw them lose on train. And I can't remember what the third one was that we saw them play. But it's not going well for MYM against mTw. They are their bogey team, I guess you could say.
What do you think they have to change coming into this game? Obviously, we've seen them play 3 times already. What's kind of needs to be different for MYM?
That's a very good question. And I'm not sure what the answer is. Something has to change. Something's got to come back for MYM. That flair, that ability to turn situations on their head. We've seen it in brief moments here for them this week, but we've not seen enough of it.
Yeah, certainly. So let's bring these teams onto the stage. Of course, we have both MYM and mTw. And Tosspot, this game for me is probably going to be one of the more interesting sets we've seen between MYM and mTw. Obviously, they're down in the lower bracket. Both teams, of course, guaranteed top 3, but the winner goes through to that grand final against Fnatic and guarantees themselves $25,000.
Yeah, it puts everything into context. This is much more than a game. This is money. This is business, and business is about to get serious.
It certainly is. So let's bring the first team onto the stage. Of course, from Poland, it is going to be Meet Your Makers. And first up will be Kuban. It was taken out of the team a while back. He's come back in and really been on form throughout this tournament as Kuban.
He's been one of the better players for MYM.
Second up, of course, then we have Taz, who looking maybe a bit downbeat yesterday. They didn't have the greatest of days yesterday. 22 years old, of course. All of these players coming out from Poland. Then we have Lord. We saw him with a pistol round ace yesterday, and Lord really was on form.
Lord was on form and had a very good game against Alternate.
Of course, then we have Luke, who yesterday we saw hitting some big shots in some big moments for Meet Your Makers. Well, he looks like he just wants to get on with this game.
Yeah, these MYM guys don't look like they can buy a smile right now. Not too happy.
And then, of course, it is Neo, the star player from Meet Your Makers, and he'll be the one that can make that difference. Yesterday, do you think Neo was on form?
There's Neo on form where no one in the world can come to him, and then there's Neo just being good, and he's still a top player. So, however, he's set such high standards that you almost like, if he doesn't drop 20 frags in a game, you're surprised. So, you know, there's a context to keep Neo in.
So let's have a look who they'll be playing. Of course, it will be mTw from Denmark, an all-Danish lineup. A team that have been looking unstoppable. They lost twice yesterday to 2 Swedish teams, and Sonic turning that fearsome axe into a guitar.
Sonic's got something different for us every time he comes on stage.
And of course, we have MJE. Every time we've seen him against MYM, he's been hitting lots.
He loves playing MYM, lots of frags for him.
And of course, Ave, who yesterday really on form. That's not MJE, by the way. That's the wrong one. There you go, there's him. And then, of course, we have Wimp, man who yesterday didn't wear his hat. And Gudo told me last night he should put it back on because they lost 2 games without that hat yesterday, and he seems to be wearing it again today. Then we have Sunder, who was, of course, Counter-Strike Player of the Year for 2008, the AWP player from mTw. And yesterday, Toss, he looked unstoppable.
Yes, when Sunder wants to, Sunder can win a match on his own. He's a world-class player. A bit absent against Fnatic, it had to be said, but then so was most of the mTw team. They didn't hit their shots, as Gudo said, and that's a rather big problem.
Well, we're going to go to a quick advertisement break. When we come back, we're going to be sitting down with Gudo and Twice from mTw and MYM to talk about the game, the tournament so far, and of course, how this match is going to go. So don't go anywhere here on ESL TV. It's the consolation final of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 3 Global Finals.
The interview lounge here at the Intel Extreme Masters Global Finals. I'm joined by two very familiar faces in Gudo and Twice, and we're about to get it underway. And Gudo, you've played MYM 3 times in this tournament, trained twice, Inferno once, Dust 2 now. Is it going to be the same result?
No, it is not. MYM are really ready for this match, and we saw yesterday against SK that good on Dust 2, so it's not the same match at all.
Now, what is it that you've got over MYM right now? Because MYM are picking up great results against teams like SK, for example, and yet when they came to play you guys yesterday, they didn't look very good.
I don't know, they must have something against us. We had a thing back with them back in 2006, I think it were. In 2007, we couldn't beat them, and now they can't beat us, so I think there's some aura or something between those top teams once in a while.
And what about you guys? Losing to Fnatic last night must have upset things a little bit.
Of course it upsets us. We have to play the consolation final now, and we have to win 2 maps in the final against Fnatic. But we look forward, and we know we are capable of doing this, and we have done it before, so if it goes well, we'll do it.
What did Fnatic have in that game that they didn't have when you last played them?
I don't know what they had more strength for sure, and they hit all of their shots. I don't know if they missed any grenades, but it didn't seem so. They played really strong, and we didn't play our best game, so that's basically it.
Okay, moving on to you Twice. Will it be 4th time lucky?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know, we're going into a new map, it's a new day, it's a brand new match, so let's hope so.
Your game against mTw yesterday on Train was not a pretty sight for you. Can you shed some light on what went wrong?
No, I don't think we actually know. We were making a lot of mistakes. As I said in the interview on stage yesterday, that when you're playing against a team like mTw, who's playing so close to perfect, you can't afford to make any little mistakes because you'll get punished in any mistake you make. And we were making a lot yesterday.
Now, Dust 2, it does add something new to it. You did beat SK on it yesterday. Is that a confidence-boosting factor going against mTw? Because there must be something there that, in the back of your players' minds, that because it's mTw makes it quite hard, that bit harder.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure about that. You have to ask the players about what's going on in the back of their heads. But I think that it's not going to be. It's not that we beat SK. That's going to be the self-confident boost. But it's going back to how they used to play on the maps, like playing very aggressive, playing almost without tactics, just taking it as it goes. And I think that it made them realize that they can still play that type of game. And I'm sure if they can find that game today, it's going to be a different result.
That's an interesting point, because we saw yesterday that, and the day before, that MYM were a lot slower than they used to be. But is that all about to change then?
Yeah, I hope so. That's what at least that was changed against SK yesterday. We were playing very fast game, very aggressive, like we used to do, and it was working just like it used to do. So I think that the team is gonna come in flying again today.
Well, when we come back, we're going to find out how high MYM can fly against mTw. We'll be back after this.
So MYM played that bit more aggressive yesterday against SK on Dust 2, and they're hoping to kind of replicate that today. Just looking on the SK Gaming Esports Index at the stats that we've got coming into this one. Both teams played roughly the same amount of games on Dust 2, with mTw playing 31 and MYM playing 30 games. Now, the interesting thing is 74% are wins for mTw on Dust 2, but only 53% are wins for Meet Your Makers on Dust 2. So, in my opinion, you know, mTw should be the favourites going into this. They've already shown time and time again throughout this week that they can beat MYM. It's just on a different map, and I think it may take them a bit of time to adjust. And we saw actually an interview on Readmore with Taz, where he said tactics are bad, basically, using a different word. But you know, he said that they really much rather prefer to play that run and gun style, and I think that suits MYM a lot more.
I just hope it's all true. I just hope that MYM that we saw over the past few days goes away, because they were unentertaining to watch. and they were impotent in terms of getting their attacks down. We saw Neo, the world's most, I'll go out there and say, the world's best aggressive player when he wants to be. And he was used defensively. He was not where he needed to be. And MYM were not where they needed to be. So if they come back and they go to this, to that really exciting batter and ram type of tactic that they used to do previously, I'm all for it.
Now going to get straight into the 9th round, and of course this will decide which side either of these teams will start. And of course, Toss, tell us a little bit about Dust 2 and the side that you expect these teams to go on to, of course, if they win this 9th round.
I think, for MYM's perspective, I think they'll probably choose to play on T if they win, just so that they can go for that aggressive strat that they were talking about with Twice. I think that would be a conscious decision to go T and let themselves fly, but I'm not sure that that would be the same decision from MTW.
Well, of course, Dust 2 is a T-sided map, so usually we see the team taking their the strongest side on a map to start things off, and it will be kill for kill here in the 9th round. MTW getting themselves 2 more. MJE will make it just one man standing there. Was Taz, but he was quickly slashed down by Sonic, and that will be MTW taking the 9th round, and they are going to stick on that T side.
Yes, they are, and there you see on screen the pre-match huddle that has become a trademark of, well, both of these two teams. MTW, I'll tell you what I noticed about both of these two teams. They look tired.
Yeah, certainly. They've been playing a long time at CBA. I mean, they've been here for 6-7 days now. And of course, they've been playing on the first days, especially 5 games in one day in the group stage. Over those, the first day of the Globals and the first day of the European Final. So I think tiredness will come into this game a little bit, and that could just force a bit of an upset, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a really big factor. I think it's an underestimated point. Most tournaments or most events are just, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This, well, we're now on the Sunday, but we started on Monday, Tuesday, and I think that's a big factor because they both played in the Euros. So we'll see. I look forward to this.
And I have to apologise to Guido for saying that MTW lost twice yesterday. They lost once yesterday, actually. They lost the day before as well to SK. And MTW finished that huddle. How much of a role do you think that plays before the games, Toss?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think MTW are that team that they're just enjoying themselves at the moment. And that's a great factor for them. As long as they can keep winning, that's all that they'll be interested in. Keep the smiles, keep winning, keep doing what they do best. And heck, from this, at the moment, they're probably glad that they're facing MYM rather than SK. MYM aside, they have no problems beating. SK aside that they lost to on train the day before.
Yeah, of course, Fnatic waiting the final for either of these teams to come through, and I saw them earlier on watching from in the gamers area there, so they'll be watching this one closely to see how it goes. And MYM taking distinctly longer to have their pre-game chat. Yes,
this is a long pre-game huddle. They seem to, well, from Taz there in the middle, you can see some very, very distinct chat, some very, very distinct instructions going out to his teammates. And I've been very curious to hear what, well, my Polish isn't any good, so I couldn't tell you. But if I could, I would love to hear what it says, what they're saying.
Well, at the moment, Taz seems to be kind of giving a mini lecture to Lord there on what he should do, and he's probably telling him, do what you did yesterday and kill all 5 guys in the pistol round.
Yeah. Certainly have one hell of a game. There you see on the insert at the bottom, MTW, sat down and ready to roll. But still this enthralling chat from Taz. They're not taking this one lightly. And rightly so, because there's big money on the line. Third place is 15,000. Second place, 25,000. And the grand final, first place, 50,000 US dollars.
MYM will sit themselves down, so we should get this one underway any second. As we've said, MTW took that 9th round, will start out on the terrorist side, which is of course the strongest side here on Dust 2. Of course, we saw a couple of games yesterday on Dust 2, one of which was, of course, MYM defeating SK. The other one was Fnatic beating SK. And Fnatic actually performed really, really well against SK yesterday. Then they went on, continued it in the upper bracket final against mTw as well. So, Dust 2 in the last 3 games has played a big role in this tournament. And it makes a refreshing change. In the Europeans, we saw Inferno, Inferno, Inferno the whole time. And yesterday we got to saw some Nuke, some Train, some Tuscan, and finally these teams having a bit of variation in their map choices.
Yeah, it's a big factor. It did get a little bit monotonous, but now we're on, and now we're away. mTw, MYM. mTw on the T side here. It's the pistol round. And if you're new to Counter-Strike, well, the pistol round is one of the most important rounds. You must win this. Whether you want to be a good terrorist or a good counter-terrorist, you need money. And the best way to get money, according to Counter-Strike, is by planting bombs and killing people, or defusing bombs and killing people. And the pistol round defines that. You win this, you then have money to buy weapons for the next round, and your opponents don't. And that normally goes on for 3 rounds straight.
mTw at the moment not made that big push out. Sunder's down to 28 health points already at the start of this one, and they're moving very, very quietly and slowly. They've boosted one man up there on the ledge in the form of Zonic. He will now back away, and mTw loving those boosts. We saw them do it yesterday against Fnatic 2 or 3 times in really interesting positions, one of which was, of course, in the pistol round, where Zonic was boosted right up onto the gantry on the top of Nuke. It looks like mTw will be making a push out towards that A site. They will reveal themselves. Counter grenades coming in here from MYM, one of which comes out from Taz, and Sunder goes down. Well, mTw are on that site now. They have to get the bomb down here, as MYM will be rotating around very shortly and trying to get back into this site to, of course, get the defuse. The bomb is planted. Flashes coming over the top from CT Spawn, and MYM continue to work their way around. Looks like they are going to be coming here up catwalk. Sonic will pick off one. Oh, bad grenade from Abe, but MJE's there. He's picked off Taz. Media Makers now take him down and have a chance to get back around in this one. Lord will take down Abe. Wimp's down as well. That bomb can be defused now for MYM, but it's looking like it may just blow up. It's very close. I think MYM have this. They do, and they pick up that pistol round on CT's side. And well, they're using their voices in this one to try and get some mental edge over mTw.
I'm not sure what that expression from Taz was, but it was certainly an interesting one. And well, that's big for MYM. They needed it. And I think, well, I'm curious in that after plant situation from mTw. They got the bomb down, no resistance in the site. MYM had stacked the other site. And yet to defend the bomb, they pushed out on catwalk. Now, if they were on CT side, they would never defend that site by pushing out that far on catwalk. So why do it in the afterplant situation? And why only keep one man on that site? It didn't make too much sense to me what mTw did. However, mTw for the 2nd round in a row are going to get the bomb down, I think. And yes, they have done exactly that. Abe's got himself a frag onto Lord B. They have bought as well, courtesy of the frags and plant that they got. But Neo defines MYM's ruthless ambition in this one with 2 big frags. It's Taz versus MJE in a 1-on-1 for the bomb. This is a crucial moment already. You can hear, Taz can hear the bomb being defused. He doesn't know whether he's got to go for it or not. And the answer is, he's going to get it for mTw. And that's brilliant work from the Danes. MJE played that one textbook style, just baiting and baiting and baiting, making it impossible for Taz to go for that defuse. And the bomb was going to blow anyway, but MJE took the frag.
That's really bad news for Meteor Makers. After winning pistol, you should be looking at certainly 1 more, if not 3. I mean, mTw would have been able to buy in the 3rd round anyway due to those 2 bomb plants and the frags that they'd taken. But now, of course, Meteor Makers have to buy in those weapons in the 2nd round and losing, in the 2nd round and then losing it. Of course, now have no money. They have to settle for an eco round. That, of course, plays right into the hands of mTw. And, well, when you're on that CT side, the last thing you need to do is win the pistol and then lose it in the 2nd. MTW. We're going to grenade out here towards Catwalk. Taz had just backed away in good timing from the pole. On it will edge his way along. Sunder's already up there on Catwalk. Find him. He's the man that's kept a hold of a Glock here. Well, that signals just one thing. Sunder is, of course, saving this round so that he can afford his famed AWP in the next. Raids will come out here from MYM. There is one man on the side. They are going to push in onto him here. And he finally does take down Taz. So that bomb site is now wide open for MTW to get the bomb down, which they will do here any second. And MYM now have to get around. They've decided to come catwalk. But then, after seeing all those MTW shirts on the bomb site, they decide, well, let's try a different way around. They will, of course, look to pick up the weapons from MTW should they get any kills. Abe will be watching. He picks off one, gets taken out by Neo's Deagle. Thunder has now exchanged that Glock for a USP. MJE picks off one. Sonic comes in for backup, and MYM not able to do much in this situation. Neo will now come around, trying to get more kills. But in the end, that Deagle worth more than just going in and trying to get those frags at the end. The score is 2-1, MTW lead. And of course, MYM, well, they should be able to buy a few more grenades and things this round, but the frags just didn't come in, so of course they won't be able to buy out fully.
3 rounds, 3 plants for MTW. Very good stuff from them. And, well, Sunder is in the middle watching. Before that smoke went in, he clearly saw one man go down to the other site, and that's Taz, and he's going to race on down the middle. Spies Taz again. Nade comes in. Sunder will back in, and he's going to join the rest of his teammates, and this is going to be very good from MTW because there's nobody there. MYM come around from the back, very quickly realize what's happening now, as Taz will go through the double doors, but Abe is already in, putting that bomb down. MYM will look to recover the site going via the tunnels. 4 players will converge on the B tunnels. Lord B's down in spawn. But this is a very, very difficult situation. Taking that small site is not easy at the best of times. But when there's 5 men with guns and you only have pistols, it becomes all the more harder. Frag apiece though. Sunder's HG strikes from beyond the grave as Lord goes down. Taz still in the thick of things here. Makes his way around the corner, is massacred down. There's not much left, and MTW will pick it up. They lead by 3 rounds to 1. Very good start.
3 rounds to 1 it is, and MTW, of course, after losing pistol, have brought it right back and have a nice lead. Of course, this will be the first real buy round for MYM. Of course, that second round which they'd lost, they had a mixed bag of masses, and that just went horribly, horribly wrong for them. We're going to watch Thunder here at the start with his AWP. See what he can pull off. He fires through the smoke, and, well, once that smoke's down, you can't see all that much, so Thunder will decide to move away. Neo picks off the first frag. Wimp goes down, and MYM have to bounce back now. Get some of those rounds on the board. Kuban with an AWP will be watching long. As we said, this is the consolation final. If you're only just tuning in, the winner will go through into the grand final to play against Fnatic for that $50,000 first place. MJ edges his way around. There's no one here on catwalk, so MTW can progress. Get to those boxes. Obviously, that's the choke point that MYM are looking to hold. Kuban's in a great position to defend from both long and onto that catwalk as well. So as soon as they peek out, we'll stick with Kuban and see what he can do. As we'll come back up from CT spawn, and MYM having a bit of a gamble there, doing things right. As here they come. MTW move out onto catwalk. Kuban still watching long, finally switches himself around. And Kuban has to make those big shots. He sees the grenades, flashes coming over from the side. He will turn around. Taz will take down MJE. Well, that will mean that MTW slow it down just a little bit. Ave and Sunder both picking up frags along with Sonic, and that brings it actually back in favor of MTW. It's 3-on-2. Taz and Kuban, the only players remaining for MYM. And that bomb is going to be planted here inside of the B site by Sonic. Kuban still has that AWP, and you think in this situation, moving into that B site, which of course is closer, yeah, he's not going to do it with an AWP. It's too close range. He switches it out for an M4 as the flashes come over the top from mTw to defend that site, and Kuban decides probably not going to be able to get this one, so I'll take that up and I'll run away and keep it for the next round. Taz, of course, will set himself up for the exit kills here as well. And mTw are going to come running out. Taz gets 2, switches out to the pistol, runs away to reload. And he should get that reload in time. He won't be chased down from that remaining player of mTw, but Taz did his job there. He made it expensive.
He made it very expensive. Picked up an AWP at the end, if I'm not mistaken, and threw it down for his teammate. So MYM, despite losing that round, are going to double AWP it up. So, not bad. There's the first, rattling off a shot. And here's the second. It is double AWP. And, well, this is just what the doctor ordered for MYM. Taz, in that situation, he would either go down and make it very expensive, as there were 3 players coming out his way, or he'd go out and blaze a glory, and that's exactly what he did. AWP shots rattling off. Sunder fires one from T-Spawn. Oh, Kuban with the opportunity there. Didn't take it. Must have been smoked out. Something HLTV didn't draw. As the nade comes back, retreats. Watching A long, but it's a 5-man mTw push, which is about to come right on Kuban. And he opens up the fragging. MJE goes down. Now it is MJE leading that assault for mTw. He always loves playing against MYM because, as you can see, he is fragging happily against them. Now, mTw get the second frag and the third. MJE at the double. Neo and Luke, the last 2 alive. And they are going to say, let's save our weapons. And it is going to be a really tricky situation for MYM now because they just are being torn apart right now. Their defense is not having the desired effect. Nice simple strat from mTw, really paid off there. 5-man up catwalk, into sight, kill bad guys, bomb, win round.
Yep, and of course the only round that MYM have on the board is the pistol, which they then failed to convert. And mTw came right back into this one, now lead by a clear 4 rounds. And MYM, the players who didn't save from that last round, will only be able to afford for masses here. Of course, usually they'd save this round, but the fact is that they kept an AWP from the last one, and buying these for masses just kind of backed that one up, but it will mean if they lose this, that money is going to be very, very tight. A flash comes in from Zonic there onto long A. Sunder will pick off Luke, and that's the AWP down in a flash. And as usual, it is Sunder that knocks it out of the round. 2 players from MYM are actually moving themselves towards these double doors in middle. Ave will take down Kuban, and that's again a valuable frag for mTw. MJE will be taken out of the round by Lord. And it's a 4 versus 3 in favour of the Danes. Lord will look to get himself back into position. You can hear the AWPs ringing out in the background. That is, of course, Sunder trying to do the damage. I don't think anyone from MYM was able to pick up that AWP that was dropped by Luke when he was killed in middle. Certainly they've not gone for it and not tried to use it. Sonic, he's edging his way around. mTw looking like they go for a long push. A fairly good choice for them. I mean, of course, only 3 men remain for either side. 2 of them for MYM are actually on that A site, so mTw have to get these frags on the entry to the bomb site, and that will open it wide up. If they just pick one of them off at the start, then their job becomes incredibly easier. Flash is going to go out. Zonic will be the first man over the top. Wimp will get that frag. Oh, but there's Lord. It wasn't spotted there. But Wimp will take the second head off. And now only Neo remains. And it will be Wimp with a hat trick. Brilliant play by Wimp. And Gudo said to me last night, Wimp didn't wear that hat yesterday, and that's why we lost. Today he's got it on. And, well, he's on fire.
Yes, he is. Sonic, though, leads the scoreboard at 13-3 for MTW. Some plants in there, of course. Wimp, though, those 3 frags actually take them away, and he only had 1 this entire half. Sunder also picked quiet, 4 frags on the board. But I don't think MTW mind, as they are leading by 6 rounds to 1. And MYM are in trouble. It's a deagle round for Luke, but not all of that team have got deagles. They're going to push out, and Wimp, in fact, will be the man that sees action first of all. He's got 1. He and Ave have got a lot coming their way, and MYM have done a good job actually here of surrounding these 2 players if they were to make their move. Sunder's watching the middle though, and will strike with a frag on the Lord. Wimp has got Neo thinking about coming around that corner and dying to Wimp's frag. Now though, Luke up in T's board gets himself 1. Sonic gets the frag. He also loses a few hairs on the top of his head via Sunder's AWP shot that literally went right over the top of him. And now Ave gets himself the next one. Leaves just Taz. It's 7-1, and this one is slipping away from MYM.
Yeah, of course, the situation that MYM are in now, they're being controlled as far as their economy goes. It's buy safe, buy safe. And if it continues this way, they're going to find themselves very, very far behind before they know it. Flashes and smokes down into the middle from MYM. They will boost the AWP player up there. Of course, it's Kuban. See onto the top of Catwalk, and should anyone from MTW walk there, they could come under fire. That smoke is down, but Kuban can just about see through it. Still not able to get any frags. Luke, though, will open up. Ave goes down. MTW have pushed up here via long A as they lose Wimp as well. This could be the round that MYM needed to break that momentum that MTW have been carrying for 7 rounds in a row. MTW will retreat back and go for something a little bit different. You can see that Sunder is actually still open on long A. Neo gets himself a second. Finally, Neo shut down by MJE. That bomb was dropped. Sunder will pick off Kuban on long A, and all of a sudden MTW bring this one back. It's still 3-on-2 in favour of Meet Your Makers. And well, 2 of their players still have 100 HP. Luke is down to 63 though. He'd taken some damage. Sunder could now be in trouble. Luke will pick off Sunder. As he looks for more. MJE is now the last man standing. And surely this is going to be a round for MYM. MJE comes aggressive in middle. Nades come out from those double doors as well. Lord will take him out. And finally, MYM get that round on the board. And Luke is not looking happy at all.
He's not. I mean, roll back the clock 9 rounds and MYM are on their feet goading their opposition. Now, though, there's nothing to goad about. They're in trouble. Glimmer of hope perhaps from that last round, though, as MTW will come racing down into long A. No one there for them, though, at the moment. Double back through those doors and regroup. MTW haven't seen an MYM player yet. Sunder, though, is extended watching the map, but he's not going to see anyone because MYM have actually caught this one on. Neo gets the frag onto MJE. There's more MYM players up there. It's Sonic who finds 1, 2. Excellent work from MTW to counter that push out from MYM. That's the aggression we like to see from MYM, though. But it's not to be at the moment. 4-3, MTW lead in players. As we have a brief pause or lag out, I'm not sure. Lord B's got 2 players in front of him that he can't see. Makes his way out. AWP shot rattles off to the right. Lord B gets down. Sonic pops his head up from the side of the box. Kuban now looks to avenge, but Sonic says no. And it leaves just Luke left standing with his AWP for MYM. And this is going to be a great round from MTW, picking up their opponent's buy round, stopping any momentum being built. And credit to Sonic for the frags that he picked up in this one, but from MTW's perspective, they can't put a foot wrong right now.
Well, MTW there, they lost a man early on in the round, and That could have been a little bit scary for them, but of course then Sonic just said, I'm going to kill 4 of your players, and that will change the whole course of that round. And it looked like MYM could maybe get into it, but the score is now 8 rounds to 2. Sunder looks to up down middle. Sorry, Ave was open down middle. I just assumed it was Sunder as usual. Well, Ave proving that Sunder's not the only man in the team who can hit shots through those double doors on Dust 2. Flashes will go down as well as mTw work their way around. This is an eco round for Meet Your Makers, aside from Lord, who has himself an AWP. That's a really weird decision from MYM.
Perhaps a mistake? You know, just a... I don't understand that one.
Well, if you've bought it by accident, you've already got it, so you can't sell it back to your arms dealer.
No refunds.
Now, of course, in favour of mTw this round, with Aves opening frag through those double doors again. mTw love to boost. That's something I notice about them more than maybe other players. Neo has an AWP as well. Really interesting play here. I mean, Kuban and Neo have both gone down. They were the 2 players with AWPs. And MYM, really not sure what they were playing out there. I mean, to buy 2 AWPs, the rest of the team to save, why not eco and then have a round afterwards where things are good? Because now buying 2 AWPs, they're going to be screwed again, probably. Well, unless they can win.
They got a frag via Lord, but they've not got the bomb down, and it's just Lord that's left up. I can't remember the last time I saw a 2 AWP, 3 USP defense. But I have now.
Only Executor is here now. He would have a rant about this round. Lord will miss his shot there as someone comes flying through. He's got a man on long here. That will be Wimp as well, and it's 9-2 mTw. And we know that this T side is stronger, of course, on Dust 2, but, well, the question is, how strong is too strong for MYM? Of course, they will move round to this T side after the full 15 rounds, but if mTw keep this up, they could find themselves 13-2 up at the half, which would be a huge comeback for mTw to make, and that pistol round, not only would it be important, but it could decide the game.
We've seen some interesting stuff from MYM. They have shown a little bit more aggression than we've seen from them in previous matches. They have extended that defense regularly, coming out from the 2 sides, but it's not been enough. This is a save that will go the way of mTw. This is going to make it 10-2. 3 left in the half. If MYM pull it back to 10-5, then it's still very much game on. But if they don't, then as you say, real uphill struggle.
Well, I'm guessing that MYM don't gamble very often. They're not betters, these guys, because they did gamble with that double up defense and 3 USPs, and from there they lost that round. It forced them to fully eco the round afterwards, whereas if they'd just ecoed that 1 round, they would have lost it, and then they would have had guns the next to work with, and this makes no sense to me. Sunder and Ave will rattle off the shots down middle, hoping to catch some health away from those MYM men that move over towards the B side. They didn't hit anyone, though. Neo and Luke will boost each other up onto the boxes. And Neo will spray through the wall, but no one's actually there. mTw are making a push over on the other side. Jay, again, will be boosted up onto the box. Going to drop down onto the head of his teammate, so he doesn't make any noise there. He doesn't want to expose this attack and allow MYM to get themselves into defensive positions. mTw will move quickly. They feel the wrath of Kuban as he's up on that B site himself, but basically that was just a bait there from the man that went out so that Sunder could jump into that pit with anything bad, without anything bad happening to him, and he will just sit and watch someone to show themselves over by that A site, and it looks like Kuban could do that here. Well, if Sunder continues to peek out, he may just get lucky, because MYM have rotated all the way over to this A site. 4 men are there now. Well, we'll have to see how mTw play this. If they go catwalk, I think it's going to end badly for them. they'll continue to work it around. Sonic goes down first. MJE will open up that catwalk area as the flashes go in for MTW. Taz is there, who then falls quickly. Wimp with a double, and Wimp has been instrumental in a lot of these rounds, getting himself into the side. Flying frag from AVE as he drops down into that spawn. Neo shot straight in the head. Luke will now be the last man standing. It's 1 versus 1. It's Luke up against Wimp, and Wimp won't be able to hold. And Luke will get a frag and get the third round on the board for Meet Your Makers. He's going to go searching for those weapons and will come in, get the defuse, and the score will be 10-3.
A question whether that was the best decision Wimp's ever made to jump down there. At the end of the day, who am I to make that question? But he and MYM have lost and MTW have lost the round as a result in that one-on-one. Now, 2 rounds left to go. MYM need them both, and then it's very much game on. Here's Luke with the AWP. Hops out of the way of Sunder's shot. He will nestle himself in. The MTW have got 5 players still just spread out along the outside parts of T-spawn, so really no commitment yet. Bomb is still back in T-spawn, so they don't lose it in a tricky position. Sunder now picks it up. He's going to walk it into the B tunnels in a second. Some fatness is out for MYM. And it is going to be Luke who will see the action soon, because this is going to be a B attack. And Luke is going to meet Wimp for the 2nd round in a row. Taz finds the frag. AVE goes down. Luke has to hold firm here. Neo and Taz getting the frags in the background. Luke strikes with 1 onto Wimp. Now it's Sunder versus Luke. Sunder the last man up for MTW as well. And Sunder will strike with a frag onto Neo. And now edges his way through. Gets a 2nd frag. Great work. Sunder now pokes his head out. He's got just 2 to go. Suddenly has turned this round on its head. Has the bomb. Has 40 seconds in which to do something. Gets the next frag. That's a great hat trick from Sunder. Met with a rapturous round of applause. But Lord suddenly mutes that applause with a famous frag. And MYM pick up their 4th round.
Fantastic play by Sunder there, and he really made that difference. And of course made it expensive, if nothing else, for Meet Your Makers. They lost a lot of men to Sunder's AWP, most of which were at close range, and that's where Sunder really seems to excel. Neo and Luke cross over the middle as that AWP shot is rattled out. Didn't hit anyone though, so that's good news for MYM. MTW will now edge the way around, and 10-5, if that can be the half-time score, MYM I think will be happy with it, because they were slipping behind by a lot. 5 rounds on CT side is not so bad these days on Dust 2. I think it's a good point from which MYM can work on. I mean, 10-5, win the pistol before they know it. It's 10-8 and they're right back in the game. Neo will take down Sonic. Ave will move his way through middle and Neo goes down. He's got a man right next to him. That was Taz. Luke with a double. That changes the round. Cuban will finish things off, and it will be 10-5 at the half. And really, I think MYM will take that and be happy.
Yeah, from 10-2 to 10-5, it's a big difference. It really has changed the complexity of this game, and this 2nd half now could be a lot closer than it looked like it might once be. And things very, very interesting now. Delicately poised, one might say, between MYM and MTW. Up on the stage, you see, well, you see who we're going to interview as the camera just walked by him. But more importantly, you see another tense talk from MYM.
Yep, I think this talk's going to be tense but positive at the half for MYM. I think they realise what they can do from this point onwards. As we've said, that pistol round can make it 10-8, as long as they don't do what they did with the first pistol round. Don't forget, MYM did take that and then slipped up very, very quickly. And all of a sudden found themselves way, way behind in this game. I'm not sure how MTW feel about that first half. I mean, do you think that was positive from then? From being so far in the lead to bringing it back to 10-5, they would surely hope for more from the situation.
The turning point was that one-on-one, Luke versus Wimp at 10-2, when Wimp dropped down to find Luke. From that moment on, MTW lost 3 consecutive rounds. So we'll see. But we did see some crazy things from MYM that half. Most notably the double AWP 3 USP defense. But there were signs of encouragement that they may be a little bit more aggressive.
Well, James Harding is on stage with twice the manager from Meet Your Makers. Jay, a positive half from Meet Your Makers.
I'm joined on stage by the manager of MYM, is Ronnie. Ronnie, they won pistol. They're getting ready to sit back down, as I can see. They won pistol. They instantly lost the next round, but you still came out 10-5. Are you happy with that late game performance, or just disappointed overall with that half?
No, I'm happy we got back in the game and woke up a bit. We got a little thrown off by them winning, throwing AKs and winning the second round. But I think we got good, got back in there, and I think 5-10 is a decent result, and it's still an open match. The gun round now is very important.
The gun round now will be very important going into the second half. So Dust 2, are they happy about this? I mean, that scoreline as well. I mean, what was said in their team talk just behind us? What were they just talking about going into the second half?
Have no idea. I don't speak Polish.
Excellent. I know someone who does speak Polish. It is, of course, Joe Miller.
Yeah, I totally speak Polish. It's my first language.
Talk to us in Polish then.
No, I only know one word, and it's not arable.
Yeah, I know that word too.
As usual, you only learn the bad words in every language that you come across people from foreign countries. And of course, we have many teams from all over the world here at the Global Finals, but the remaining 3, and indeed the top 4 that got through to the playoffs, all from Europe.
Yeah, I think it's a big sign of strength from the Europeans. I don't think there was ever a doubt that it would probably be an all-European final. And, well, an all-European top 4 as well. Here we go. Someone looked very shocked to be on camera there for a second. Now we're ready for the pistol round. And Joe, who's going to win this match?
I think it's really up in the air now. This pistol round from MYM can bring them back to the 8 rounds to 10 of mTw, unless they completely screw it up like they did in the first half, of course, because from that point on, MYM really could have started to build a nice lead and got more, certainly, than 5 rounds on that CT side, which, MYM are an aggressive team. They proved against SK yesterday on Dust 2 what they can do on T side. And I think they have to go in there aggressive. Ave and MJ and Wimp all start off this round perfectly. And well, this push from MYM is just being destroyed by Wimp and co. And Wimp managing a double there, actually, on the catwalk. And all of a sudden, Taz is like, hey guys, what happened there? He was the man barking out the orders before and during half time. Well, he's now the only man left alive, which may tell you something about MYM. He was also the man yesterday that said, tactics are rubbish.
Well, those tactics were rubbish.
They have a point. 84 points of health for Taz here as he waits the clock out. And actually the bomb's down in probably the most horrible place that Taz could ever wish for it to be in, which is right on that CT ramp, which can be covered from about 5 or 6 different sides. Here comes Taz though, he picks off Wimp, but MJE will hold out firm on Goose. And that will be the pistol round to mTw. They go 11 rounds to 5 in the lead. And Toss, that was a big round for mTw that they had to win.
Yes, must-win round, undoubtedly. And everything now from mTw gets to that from MYM gets to that position where there just can be no mistakes now for MYM. This is all on it. Third place, I think, is still $15,000, so it's not so bad, but there's a $10,000 gap in this one, and that says a lot. That means a lot. MYM ready to push up through the catwalk. Who is it that'll find them? Sonic will be the man. He's the only one that's actually in that site. Everyone else has retracted from there and is at long A, so Sonic with it all to do, and he's been in tip-top form this weekend. Now let's see what he can do, because MYM are coming for him, and Neo gets the frag onto ABE. Lord B looks through. Sonic is going to get one. MJ gets the second, but Sonic's been down by Luke. Lord's going to be allowed to plant that bomb. Good stuff from MYM. As MJE will come in also from the side, it's Sunder and Wimp who pick up one frag. on Lord B, and Luke will go down at the hands of Wimp. And mTw reclaim the round, but consolation for MYM, 2 frags and a bomb plant.
Yeah, Luke was really flashed up quite heavily there at the end, just spinning around in circles, looking at the floor, hoping for it to clear in time, but unfortunately not. Of course, that second round goes in. Let's see, actually, if MYM have gone for this second round bye. They got the bomb down there. They've had 3 frags. Money's not going to be good enough. They're going to be on the eco once again. A couple of Deagles mixed in with the Glocks for Meet Your Makers. And they really need one of those freak rounds right now. They could really do with winning an eco against mTw. The score is 12-5, and mTw are only 4 rounds away from moving into the grand final versus Fnatic, and of course guaranteeing themselves $25,000 as well as. And MYM so far being destroyed by mTw's defense, especially over by this B site. They will move in. Zonic and MJE will still be watching. Taz goes around the corner. Zonic was there, and well, Zonic and MJE showing just how to defend that B site against an eco push. The score 3-0 in this second half. The score is 13-5 overall. 3 more to go, but of course this is a round that MYM, well, the game may just rest on this. They've got the money and they have to make it count.
And Twice did say at half-time it'll all come down to that first bye round. Well, that's right now. And MYM must deliver something. This is where the question comes again. Will MYM revert back to classic MYM, or will they falter and revert back to what we've seen from them over the past few days, which has been drab? MYM have Neo, Luke, Kuban all extending down through the middle. They will nade over to the A site. Zonic will have seen that, and there are 3 players over there. Few shots coming in, and MJE opens up the fragging for mTw on the small site. Sunder's been down though as Taz goes in. There is MJE pushing out, gets himself his second frag. Great work from MJE, but it won't be enough. Taz drops him. 2-3 versus 3. Bomb in the hands of Lord B on the site. Ave is going to look to recover with Wimp. Zonic's rotating through the B tunnels if he can get there, but he's got to deal with Neo in there, and he does so with a headshot. Great work. Taz and Lord B now to hold on to this. Taz will wait on Zonic. He's got Lord B watching the door. Here we go. Lord B gets the first. Taz gets the second. It's all on Ave. 1 behind, 1 in front. Bomb ticking away. Ave's not going to be able to do it. And he will get out of there with his life intact. No! Lord B strikes him down. And what was a must-win round was won.
Yeah, that's a great boost for MYM now. They've can get some confidence going forward. They did a great job of pushing into that site. I thought Zonic was going to turn the round on its head when he moved through into those B tunnels, got the frag, but MYM holding firm. And that B site not easy to take back, and Luke will take down MJE as well. That's an important kill for them. MJE is a great defender of that B site, and it will now be Zonic that does it up there on his own. He will be taken down quickly. Sunder will fire in from between those double doors. But Kuban is now going to make his move and get the bomb down as well for Meet Your Makers. They looking to come back in this game. As we said, 13-6 is the overall score in favour of the Danes. So still it's a long way back for MYM. But they're on T side on Dust 2. And if it's possible anywhere, it's possible now. You know, MYM seemingly play better, in my opinion, when they've got that pressure stacked against them. And, well, now there's never been as much pressure against them, I think, in this entire week. Sunder will miss a... well, not very often we see Sunder miss a shot. Of course, yesterday he was shooting heads on train just for the fun of it at one point. Today, he's not hit that many. I mean, the thing about Sunder is, even if he only gets maybe 6-7 frags during a half, you can always guarantee that those frags are important. They were either, you know, early kills or kills that change the pace of a round or the way the round stacks. So, you know, when it's a 3v3, Sunder is likely to come up with something, and then all of a sudden you're back in the game. And that's why mTw, I think, seem to come out of a lot of situations where they're behind as far as the numbers go.
Indeed, you're right. We'll see whether this is to be one of them. Remember, this, of course, in itself is a replay of the ESWC finals that we did here on ESL TV, 2007, so 2 years ago. It was the greatest Counter-Strike match I've ever seen. 3 maps. Sunder's first tournament was, or first tournament for NOA at that time, and his real baptism of fire to become this top player. And MTW lost that to what was then PGS. And the guys mentioned it yesterday, that was, everyone was cheering against them. And here we go, frags come in, 1 each. Wimp downs Taz, sorry. He is going to be the one to find all the action here as they nade on through. Wimp's between a rock and a very hard place as the poles come flying for him. They get him, and another Ave's gone down as well. Not much left for MTW. In fact, what is left is over on this other site. Not that MYM know it. Sunder is watching that crossover. And it's going to retract anyway. MTW could have done perhaps a bit more with this. But they're not going to risk it. They're going to set themselves up straight away for exit kills. However, with only 15 seconds left, MYM get the bomb down. It's going to tie us up at 3-3 here at half-time. It'll make the score 13 rounds to 7. And all in all, still advantage MTW.
Is advantage MTW, and rounds must be won by MYM. Of course, they have that long way to come back in this game, and well, they can only afford to drop 1 more should they do this in overtime. Actually make the score 10 rounds to 8 because they got 5 at half-time and it's now 3-3. So 13-8 is the score. Now MTW are going to be on the eco. They have no money to work with in this round. Of course, the last round they decided rather than going for the eco, they'd buy inferior weapons to those AKs. Of course, the FAMASas. And that really didn't work out for MTW. They now, of course, are on a full save round. MYM, though, despite knowing that this will be true, will take things very, very slowly. Will move their way carefully and methodically into this site. Not sure where the MTW defense is. 2 of them are already out of the round. Zonic and MG have gone down to Lord and Neo. And MYM are on this bomb site. They can get the plant in now and should be able to take this round fairly easily from now on. Just need to be careful that they don't lose weapons for to MTW because Sunder, Ave and Wimp, 3 big players that can really clutch those situations. Well, they are just going to sit there and wait for those exit kills. They're waiting for MYM to move out so they can kill them, take their guns, and run away and keep them for the next round.
And that will put us in very much a game-on situation. MTW must win a round. At the moment they do that, everything will change back. This really has been a game of momentum, but until MTW win that round and MYM keep picking up these rounds and making that score closer and closer, 13-9 now, makes things very, very difficult if you're Danish. However, MTW, I think we could say they're a touch more aggressive than they were yesterday. I wouldn't say they've reverted all the way back that they promised they would. Shots come on through. As Kuban goes in, Neo is the man I was looking for. He's the one that's going to find the action. Neo is only got 5 frags in the second half. Will look to add to that now. Jumps through the door, opens up the fragging. Wimp goes down. Now looking around the corner, hunting down Ave. Sunder's going to come across and get himself involved in this party down at the double doors. Kuban gets the frag onto Ave. Still, Sunder poised to strike. Orb shot rattled off. Sunder calls in reinforcements. Zonic's going to get himself in as well. Now the pair of them have done all the damage. They quickly rotate, get themselves out of it. Zonic is still in on the action down there, though, as MYM have fully rotated out of there. Going all the way over towards this B side, it's MJE that's the man that's going to have to stop them. He's the one watching, and he's the one dying. Luke picks off his head. And now Sunder and Zonic are left all alone. Sunder's got Neo incoming, but he doesn't know it. He certainly does now, because he's just down Zonic, and Sunder will retreat all the way down into the pit. And MYM pick off a round, and you know what? That was vintage MYM. We're going to go into a 2-on-2 that we should probably lose, but we're going to go in so headstrong, so vehement, in such belief that Neo is that good that he's going to jump around the corner and land the frag, even though the other guy was set up waiting for him.
Well, the great thing is now that MYM have put 5 rounds in a row. Of course, they lost pistol to MTw, so although the scoreline looks close at 5-3 on the second half, it's not been all that close. MYM obviously lose pistol, then the 2 rounds following. And now MTw are actually on an eco round, which should mean that they lose it. MYM are actually darting their way in now to this B site. MTw will look to try and defend. Sunder will pick off 1 kill with that USP. Lord comes around though. And well, it moves very quickly and effectively for MYM there. MTw have just 2 men to get into this bomb site, one of which is MJ. He's shut down close range by Kuban. Wimp will be flashed, and Kuban chases him down with a USP, gets the kill, and that will be 6-3 in this second half. The score 13 rounds to 11. MYM are right back in this game.
Game on. MYM at the moment exposing a few flaws in MTw. Ave in the second half, just 1 for 6. Not so hot. MJ and Sunder lead the ball for there. The spread on that team is 6 frags from 7-1. As a few shots rattled off from Luke. There's no one down there, but he's making some noise. He's diverting the attentions. I don't think overall he's too bothered about actually hitting them. Here we go. Lord, Luke, and Taz will go down the B tunnels. MJE is the man in there. Bomb is left outside. No, Lord will take it. The other MTw players are all at the other site, 4 of them. Lie in wait, 2 on the catwalk. But MYM are coming 3 through the tunnels and 2 down through the main door. Sunder with a frag from the catwalk there onto the head of Taz. But MJE's got 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And now he will open fire and die. Neo gets himself that frag. Shots come back in. Sunder now needs to get himself involved. Can just see a glimmer through the door. Neo gets 1 frag. Sonic goes down. Sunder, oh, what a headshot. Luke feels the full force of Sunder. Lord B puts the bomb down. Now Kuban comes around. Ave, Sunder, and Wimp look to reclaim this B site. 3 versus 3. MYM need this round, as MTw bid to stop the rot. Here goes Wimp back into the site. Neo gets himself the first frag as AVE goes down. Lord gets the next. Lord gets the 3rd and final frag for that situation. And MYM are dancing as they pick themselves up the round. A timeout called as MTw know that their first half lead has vanished.
No surprise there from MTw taking a timeout in that situation. They've lost 7 rounds in a row. Well, the score is now 13-12, and they want to discuss this and figure out what they can do to stop it. Of course, both teams are allowed to call the timeout once during a game each. Well, MYM for me have been quite formidable on T side. They've put 7 rounds in a row together, albeit they lost, of course, a pistol in the following 2, but since then it's been flawless for them. And MTw haven't really looked like taking a round since.
No, MTw have been in a real tricky situation. I applaud them for taking this time out and being proactive. I think this is very, very important. You don't see that often enough, where teams are that keen to get themselves in. And in a response to Pan on Gottfrag, the guy next to Pink Shirt Man, I do think he looks like Chris Jericho. You're right. MYM, look on the board there. It's all them. It's all them. This is great stuff from MYM. Looking at the scoreboard, Kuban and Neo, 12 apiece, have been delightful. MTw, Sunder leads the board, unsurprisingly, with 9. AV is down on 1. And the spread is 7, 5, and 5 between MJE, Wimp, and Sonic, respectively. MYM take their seats as MTW continue to plan their escape from this tricky situation. And they're ready to go. Sit themselves back down. Joe at 13-12. Who's going to win?
I really don't know in this situation. You know, MYM, like we've said, have put 7 rounds in a row since that third round obviously went to MTW. And, well, I think that the confidence is building and building, and MYM are a team that relish, you know, that momentum going forward. I think they really relish almost the challenge of being behind. I mean, 10-5, as we said before, was a great half on CT side for them, even after failing completely on the second round. And of course, now we'll continue in this one. Timeout should be over any second. We shall get the game started here in just a moment. I mean, Tosspot, for you, who's your money on at this point?
The momentum's with MYM, and there's not long to stop it. But MTW are going to stop it, and they're going to win this.
MTW have had that time to chat about what's been going wrong and what they can do to change it. And you always feel that those timeouts may disrupt their opponent as well and kind of give them a few minutes to almost lose that confidence and lose the adrenaline that's going through them after putting 7 rounds together. This round will be an eco again from MTW, so I'm probably not expecting this to go their way. They sit back. Grenades will be thrown out down middle from MYM. They again take things slowly. And Luke has really been on form today. I think he's been, although he's at the bottom of the scoreboard this half, one of those men that, as we said about Sunder earlier, even if he's only hit 6 to the 15 of another player in the team, that all those frags have been important. They've been on the entry, they've been on the man crossing at the start from spawn into the B site. At the moment, MYM really are hitting this A site hard. MTW are nowhere to be seen, of course, on that eco. They have decided to stack in the B site. And well, that's what happens on an eco. You all go into one site, hope for the best. And well, if the team you're defending against don't come to that site, the chances are you're going to be destroyed when you try and get back around. Zonic's grenade will make a difference, though. Lord goes down, and well, just the one frag that round from MTW, unless Sunder can do something special. He's moving around. Neo will be sat just outside of those B tunnels, and it will bring us all level, Tosspot. We have 6 rounds to go. No, we don't. We have 4 rounds to go, if I could count to 30. And, well, I still don't know which way this game is going to go. I mean, MYM, as you've said, are the team that are on form, are the ones putting 8 rounds in a row together. Well, MTW now back on the bye, and they've had that chat. They have to fix it now.
This round will decide the match. MTW push out going into those, into those A double doors. MYM were there. Zonix HE proves it as he downs Lord. Neil will be the man to lead this assault for MYM as they make their push now to the catwalk. This fast and pacey from MYM, exactly what they promised. Thinking about going in, now retreating. And MYM looked like they caused a stir. They've now let that stir sort of settle, but MTW will sit down and wait. The push is now going to come in to B with Sunder lined up to strike, and Luke takes him out. Luke will open things up on this B site for MJE as well, and MYM are rolling here. Sonic goes down, and the Danes are in trouble. Wimp and Abe have already decided they're going to save. The bomb's been planted, and MYM are going to take the lead for the very first time since the pistol. Great stuff from MYM. They are on fire right now. They tamed Sunder with that first frag. They cleared out MJE, and individually, they are starting to look like their old selves. They're starting to have that confidence again that they can go into any situation and win it.
This MTW side have to have Sunder performing on a map like Dust 2, and in that situation, he didn't. He missed his shot. Luke crossed over and actually managed to jump over crouch and hit the shot while Sunder had already missed his. And the score, of course, now goes up to 14-13. We have 3 rounds to go. Well, this game still technically could go either way. mTw at the moment dropping guns for each other. They managed to steal an AK from that last round, so that will help out their money situation just a little. And these are really those deciding rounds. They lose this one, they're going to have to save on game point, and from there it should be fairly easy from MYM. So this is the big round of this second half, or certainly for the finish of this game. Let's see how it goes. There's only a FAMAS for one of those guys. Ave will make the difference at the start. Taz goes down, but MYM looking to assault from a different direction. Flashes and smokes going out into this B site. Sunder is at the back. Sonic will defend against 2, who was finally picked off by Lord, who is now charging his way down, trying to find Sunder. He will get him, MJE, he will take him from the side. And now Sunder and Ave have, as well as Wimp actually still alive, have to get themselves back into this site and get the solid retake. Ave will make the difference at the start. Lord goes down. It will now be on Look, and mTw finally pick up a round in this second half. That team talk, well, although it didn't seem to have any immediate effect, has now brought the game to 14 rounds to 14, and still one of these teams could win it, and still we have, of course, the chance of overtime.
Great stuff from Ave there. Remember, he was stuck on 1 frag in the second half for a long time. Those 2 going in there seem to have done their job. Ave seems to me to be one of those players who needs man management, needs a little pat on the back every now and then. And that may have been what that team talk was all about. And, well, we are all tied up at 14-14. Overtime is a very realistic possibility, but it's one Sunder doesn't like with the AWP. Now makes his way back. He does have incoming in those tunnels, which he's very, very aware of. Waits on the assault coming through. mTw have to hold on to this B site once again. MYM are pushing it for the 3rd round in a row. Sunder is watching left, right, and center, but the strike is coming in to that site right now. Lorbee's on the plant point, puts it down. Sunder misses his shot versus Luke. Second time that's happening. Last time he lost the round as a result. Kuban gets the next one. Wimp is down. Luke looks into those B tunnels where Wimp's about to come from. Lines him up any second now. Smoke continues to go off. Luke's completely isolated at the back. Great work from mTw. They make their way into this site. They look to power their way through. Lord's still at it. Luke's still in that far corner. They've got no idea though, and they're going for the defuse. Luke will shine from the back, but Ave will down him. Luke may have done his job. He's done his job indeed. And mTw are going to match point. Luke was flashed and smoked and blinded at the back. He didn't make a sound. He just sat and waited and waited and waited, and then took the planter away from the bomb.
Superb play again by Luke. Very, very patient. Well, we don't often see him playing so patient. The score 15-14. We come down to this last round, which is a mixed bag of weapons for mTw. As you can see, Ave only has a Deagle. There are FAMASs. There are the odd M4s in there as well, but well, it's not looking great, it has to be said. Sunder's going to come through these double doors any second. Neo will be watching as well. He will spray through. Kuban will pick off Sunder. This looks good for MYM. They've brought the game into their favour at 5-on-4. Wimp will be watching through the other side of those double doors, and he has to make a difference. He has to hit those shots with the M4. If he goes down, he leaves the rest of his teams with subpar weapons. This is, of course, the final round. mTw look to convert and put this into overtime. Wimp will spray through the box. He does take down Neo. That's an important one. Ave will make a difference with his Deagle as well. Kuban goes down as Lord will now accelerate up those on that catwalk area before going back. Sonic's also only got a Deagle. They really can't do with losing any more men to these Deagles. Taz will cross over to the other side. He jumps over the top. There is a man up at the window. Puts himself against the wall. As Taz goes for the shots, he manages to. Oh, Taz as well at the end. It's all about Taz. And Meet Your Makers will win the game and go through into the grand final against Fnatic. And mTw finished third place. And after they won those European finals, you would have said definitely top 3, but certainly you would have maybe even tipped for that top position from mTw. But great play by MYM, and well, they have to be happy with that.
MYM are a team that have wowed us over many, many years through their individual brilliance. How fitting that Taz would strike with a hat-trick of frags on the bomb in a situation where it was 3 versus 4. Someone was going to have to do something special, and Taz was the man that did. You could see what it means to MYM. The smiles back on their face. The confidence is coming back. That natural ability that they have starts to ooze through their veins once more, and now they say to Fnatic, come and get us.
Yeah, of course, MYM now have the confidence, and before this game they looked a little bit down, it has to be said. We saw them yesterday and the day before with smiles on the face, doing crazy things as they came up onto the stage, and today it didn't seem that way. I think that was focus from MYM rather than being in a bad mood, and now they'll look to obviously push that through as they go into the grand finals. The kind of twist, though, is of course we are in double elimination.
Picture says 1,000 words on Abe's face right now.
Yeah. He looks rather down, and well, who wouldn't be? mTw were the strong favourites coming into this global final after winning the European finals and being so dominant over this past year, and well, now they are out of the tournament in third position. We have James Harding on stage with a man that was instrumental in that victory for MYM. It's of course Neo.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, I'm on stage with the winners. Meet your makers, and I'm stood next to Neo. Neo, 10-5 halftime. Did you think that you could come back and get into the grand finals here at the Intel Extreme Masters?
We knew it's going to be really hard, but yesterday we played very good game against SK Gaming on Death 2, and we knew we can make it. So, yeah, that was very, like...
Obviously, Neo is very, very happy to go through. So what's changed for you, really? Because before, I mean, you guys were playing good, but now you look like, you know, there were some great moments in there for MYM. I mean, are you guys playing really good, or has something changed? Or did you beat them because it was Dust 2, because you had victory on there yesterday as well?
Well, it's kind of funny, because we haven't practiced Dust 2 for like 4 months. We haven't practiced it at all. We decided we can try it and see how it goes. Yesterday we did really good against SK. Today we knew mTw is going to try to play us on Death 2. And yeah, I mean, we haven't changed much. We just played more relaxed than before and tried to do our best.
And they did their best indeed. So next up, you're in the grand finals. It's a chance to win the first biggest tournament of 2009. You're going to go up against Fnatic. You have to beat them twice. Can you beat Fnatic twice? How are you feeling about this matchup?
Well, after that game, I think we're like pretty confident that we can still win it. So yeah, I think we can make it.
And is there anything you'd like to say to any of the MYM fans or any shout-outs?
Just thanks for support and wish us best luck.
Indeed. Wish them luck if you are a MYM fan. They will go up versus Fnatic next. But first up, I think we might have a special guest. I don't know what he's going to talk about. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Make sure you stay around and check it out. But before that, Daniel Bellada.